How you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big Cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big Cat moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste, Big Cat. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or messages. Come in. Come on. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. As I was picking up the dice before this read, they fell out of me little handses, and I thought, you know what? Everything is a sign. The first one, darling dears, is Neptune. Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, the 12th house of hidden enemies, darling dears. It's the house of mental illness. I know, darling dears. I know. It's also the house of disillusionment, as well as spirituality and addictions, darling dears. You have enemies, Big Cat, and they're in the multitude. Could be as many as 12 people, because it does cover the 12th house. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, darling dear. So people with the disillusion that they are from a higher status than you, darling dears. Neptune is also the house of gossip, darling dear. Somebody speaking about your abilities. Yeah. Not paying attention to their own garden, their own astroturf, darling dears. We also have the sign that is in, which is Scorpio. Can you see? Another spiritual house, darling dears. Highly spiritual house. This is the house of death. It's the house of joint or merged finances, possibly an inheritance. We've got the 10th house, something to do with your status, darling dears. Maybe you've got a new career. It's also someone that you was also once intimate with, darling dears. They don't like you, darling dears. They don't like that you've bossed up in their face. Disillusionment. They could also speak about lies, gossip, subterfuge, and bull swanky. On the balls of their feet, these merchants of slander. Jeremiah 9:40. Run tell that. Somebody's even talking about your sex life, darling dears. Where they're getting that intel, I don't know. But it's some way to bring you down, darling dears, put you back in a position. The 10th house, Saturn energy, darling dears. Saturn is the bringer of rules and regulations. But it's also about your responsibilities and your ambitions. I'm getting the feeling that you're paying attention to your responsibilities and ambitions, and your responsibilities and ambitions are also being paid attention to by people that you no longer commune with, darling dears. Your birth date is an even number. Why do I say that? Neptune, the 12th house, Scorpio, which is Pluto energy, is the 8th house. And we've got the 10th house, which is Capricorn, Saturn energy. It's an even number. Your birth date is an even number. You have the enemy. Oh, gosh. I nearly said enemy. It came out. Freudian slip. We're talking about enemies today, darling dears. We've got the 10. 10 speaks about you having ended a cycle in a situation where you felt cheated, where people saw you as what? Airy fairy. Maybe you are the free spirit of your group. This I'm feeling like a family base. Good golly and gosh, you've ended a cycle and it's brought some kind of renewal into your life, possibly in your career and your ambitions. Maybe you felt as a farmer while still waiting for people to change. These ones that are not in their right mind, darling dears, they're what? They've got bats in their belfries. Their cranium is not right blood. They need a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and possibly even an exorcist. This is spiritual attachments, darling dears. That's brought on through what? Drug use, alcohol use, as well as what? Negativity, low vibing. People that use possibly even the sex to get what they wanted in a situation where every dog gets old eventually, darling dears. Yes. So it's about a slow grinding hoe, a hose. The numerology I use is the Pythagorean theory, which goes from 1 to 9. So the 10 goes down to 1. You're a natural born leader. Your birth date could be the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, the 28th, or an even number. Remember, I told you that. Your luckiest numbers over the next few days will be 1, 2, and 5. Your luckiest days will be Friday and Saturday. And the letters A, J, and S will be of great import to you, darling dears. This is about you taking a new approach, one where you're not held down by other people's opinions. Nope. In tarot, the 10 is what? The Wheel of Fortune, darling dears. Fate, destiny, and good luck. You was destined to remove yourself from a situation. Maybe it's what? Going deeper into your spirituality. It also speaks about your rebirth. From what? Knowing thyself. Neptune is currently in Pisces. I believe it's at 24 degrees and about 57 or 58 minutes. Yeah, Neptune in Pisces, again the 12th house, darling dears. It's in its home sign, so therefore it will be acting out. It's at home, darling dears. Listen to your dreams. Pay attention to your intuition, darling dears, because you are about to understand what oneness means. Being a one soldier army. Somebody's breaking away from a situation, but you're being taken away from a situation, so you won't have to share your finances with those that don't deserve it, darling dears. The blessings that you have coming towards you. This is status, darling dears. Love it. I don't hate it. Somebody's public image is about to change. It's also something to do with the mother's parents, the parents of your mother. Somebody's about to step into the spotlight, darling dears. Their social status is about to change, but it's about you removing the cloak of what you are letting go. I told you the hidden enemies. Well, they're not hidden. You know exactly whom they are, darling dears. You're also going to hear about a confinement, maybe a death, because the 8th house means death, the 12th house means death, darling dears. Confinement could be to the grave. It could be a hospital confinement. The number 10 means that you're about to change your routine in a significant way, darling dears. But change is what the Wheel of Fortune is about. The change could be your school. It could be into higher learning, spirituality, darling dears. It could be a job, or fortifying your strength in a position that is something to do with spirituality, darling dears. Something that is going to be part of your long-term vision. All right, let's press on and get the Oracle Ancestral message. Pride, darling dears. Pride in a job well done, or somebody felt proud about what they did to you. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Well, you almost did, darling dears. You did for a long time, until you realized people are just a reflection of yourself. The people that are around you is the level that you're vibrating on. And as we already know, pride always comes before a fall. Yeah, what did I say? Failure, darling dears. Somebody's about to eat their words, their actions, something that they did to you, darling dears, to get up from a death. And we just spoke about a death. It's definitely a death. Definitely gratitude, darling dears, that it wasn't you, that you woke up today. Trying to stay in your happy bubble at this moment in time, but there's a death around you, darling dears. I believe that you're distancing yourself from a group. There's a lot of gossip about your distance. There's a lot of talk about your religion or spirituality, darling dears. They're calling you the airy fairy. I already said that. But you was what? Spiritual quarantine. The 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. It's fate, destiny, and good luck. You was meant to be separated from this group. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings, which you are, darling dears. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn taking the lesson from what you've been through with this group, darling dears. A group that you're leaving in your rear view mirror. Because you want to grow, blood. You are fertile and full of it. This is the evolution of your mind. The way you do, the way you think, and realizing that you are not tied by anything that is now dead to you. Dead to your old ways, darling dears. Dead to people pleasing. No longer putting yourself in uncomfortable, triggering circumstances. Yeah. Because the 10 is about status. Law number 5 of the 48 laws of power. Hang with 4 bottom feeders. Guess who's going to be number 5? Not the big cat. You're saying what? You're saying no. To what? You're finally saying no to the Jezebel spirits. Yes, baby. Revelations 2:20. That was a slow one, wasn't it? Like, did say they were slow grinding hoes. Yeah, possibly grinding their teeth, darling dears. Okay. Let's get a deck. I'm going to use the gold deck. Yeah. You are spiritually strong and aware of whom these people are, darling dears. There's a lot of gossip, a lot of fire at your back. But these arrows are pointing straight up. They're not beefing with you. They're beefing with God. You're on a whole different level, darling dears. Okay, let's see what's going on. This looks untrusting. Tell us. Why have you left this group of people behind? Yeah, because they're shady and they're scuzz buckets and they lied. This is someone taking a morsel and running and make it into a mountain. Yeah, you was intuitively guided to leave this situation behind. Something was illuminated to you, darling dears. Moon energy, Cancer and Pisces energy. What was illuminated? That you had no friends in this group. This is the loneliness in the relationship that you was there, because there was always secrets. Things that were hidden from you, darling dears. But guess what? It's a new dawn and it's a new day, darling dears. You're no longer allowing yourself to be cheated out of this situation. Yeah, you spiritually traveled and avoided, darling dears. God, Spirit, the Divine, has a hand in your life. Major Arcana. There's a lot of reckless talk at your back, darling dears. Reckless talk. Yes, what did I say? Things that God is hearing, but you are not allowed to hear. There's a lot of reckless talk with people that are not on your level. These people that are spiritually blocked, and something to do with a car or a vehicle, but we heard about a death, darling dears. That could also be the final walk, a funeral car. Somebody's avoiding a situation with this group of people. Tell us more. The Moon card. Hierophant in reverse, darling dears. This is the breaking of a spiritual contract. Good golly and gosh. Actively. 8 of Pentacles. You had the confirmation. What's this? Yeah, because you've learned your lesson, darling dears. 9-9. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. Whatever they try to do or whatever they're doing now, it's a minor game. It's got nothing to do with you. No more emotions to offer this group. And there was no true love for you in that situation. Good golly and gosh. Tower. Tell us about the Tower. Yeah, solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. This is balancing out your situation. Somebody's also looking at their finances at this moment in time. Yeah, this is about you not overextending yourself with your finances, especially to people that already stabbed you in your back. 10-10 is breakthrough. It's about letting go, darling dears. When you let go, your circumstances improved, Queen of Wands, and you know this. Yeah, intuitively guided. You are highly intuitive. You broke a generational curse. Yeah, but you're on someone's mind, darling dear. 2 6s. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. 2 6s on the tablet in the reverse is contradictions. Yeah, they're talking a lot about you, darling dears. It's only because they would like to have some input into your life. Why would they want to come back? Because you're happy, darling dears. They want to bring bad luck into your life. What's wrong with them? These feeble-minded ones. Clarify the 2 of Cups, please. Yeah, bitter, jealous, nobody's changed. They've got no goals, no real goals, darling dears. right? They are thinking clearly about what they would like to do to you, or to the information, right, that they would like to get from you, but they haven't changed. They're still carrying the same nefarious spirit, darling dears. Yeah, bad seeds, darling dears. The devil is not welcome. You're turning down some form of invitation. An invite. Death to that. It could, like I said, it could be an actual death, or the death to the way it was, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, realizing your worth and adding tax. The 10th house, darling dears. It's about your ambitions, your goals and your dreams. Yeah, they're bitter and jealous, darling dears. Something to do with money. Somebody took a risk with you, darling dears. Yes, they did. They was thinking clearly, but they're worried now, stressed out, pressed, pumped and perturbed, because they did not expect you to end this cycle. King of Cups, Capricorn, Taurus. I said King of Cups, but it's the King of Pentacles. King of Cups in the reverse is disloyal, darling. This King of Pentacles, someone that took a risk, someone who is a narc, someone who believed that their status was assured in your life. What else? Seeing as we're here, let's get an intuitive deck. Let's get it. We're gonna go with this one. Whatever you like, I told you. You're getting the Wheel of Fortune, the 10. A new beginning, darling dear. A fresh start. Yeah. From these back, front, neck tabbing Judases, darling. There's these Judases in a Peter suit, right? Lose your shiznai, darling dears. You did. When you was around the backstabbers, you had no real friend, no support, but you have a new life now. One which is being given to you, right? You're hitting the jackpot. Abundance comes in many forms, darling dears. But what some people will chalk down to loneliness, we call it freedom here at BCAT Central. Yeah, don't get smoked Central, right? Hell to the nah. You're not lonely, you're free, darling dears. That's more than, listen, you better get the message, darling dear. Get the message. And the back, front, neck tabbing Judases are getting the message. Yeah, self-love always wins, darling dears. Love the Most High, then yourself, then your progeny if you have them, and the 4th and the 5th one is the body and the bag. Tight and right, darling dears. Tight and right. You're a truth seeker amongst liars, darling dears, right? Divine masculine. Maybe you're in your masculine energy. You had to be in order to what? Create a more purposeful path for yourself. Yeah, right? Yeah, you orphaned yourself from a family group, darling dears. That's low vibing. Yep, here it is. And it's about money as well. Money also speaks about mental health. You was the truth seeker in a group, or the truth teller in this group, darling dears. So now we've narrowed it down, guys. It's a family situation. You orphaned yourself from this situation. Or maybe they've made you feel like an orphan with their actions. All right. Now that you're gone, what's going on at Mud Hut Central? Now that you're enjoying the growth that you acquired for yourself with this new freedom. The rise and rebirth of you, darling, is Law 25 of the 48 Laws of Power. Well, you're thinking clearly, but many thoughts are on you, darling dear. Yeah, because I told you there's a lot of gossip in a family group you've left behind, because you said, Cap, that shiznai, not for me, darling dear. King of Swords, this is about you having what? The wisdom of your experiences. This is you moving in silence. Your cutoff game was surgical. You cut off many people, darling dears. You didn't say a thing. You just realized that we ain't the same, right? Not quite like the others. You got your Sesame Street on. Yeah. You cut off a toxic group of people, darling dears. That was what? Roadblocks in your life. King of Swords is higher learning. Maybe you are in the legal field. You work in a government position. Or you could also be a counselor of some sort. Something to do with words, darling dears. You're wonderful with words. Maybe you're a writer, or you're in the writing field. Or you write beautiful. Whatever it is. You're a good communicator, darling dear. Excellent. Yeah. You couldn't have stayed there for the long term, because it was going nowhere, darling dears. 3 of Pentacles is recognizing your worth, and you're being watched online. Why what, Folio? And again, the devil is not welcome. toxic people that you left behind, and it was avoidance of a Tower moment, because divine is gifting you with what? An 1111 fade, right? Because you're not choosing a circumstance that you thought, you thunk was what? Divinely guided. Maybe you believe that family, no blood, they're just a contract, but you have to realize when the contract is not good, you must rescind it, right? Yeah. There was somebody who wants to speak to you in that group, darling dears, but this person is a Jezebel spirit. Where's my shiznai? Revelations 2:20. Pay attention. You've got incoming. Could be email, text message, whatever, but you have incoming, darling dears. Somebody's coming forward from the family group that you no longer parlez-vous with, darling dears. There's no even kill, right? It's a whole cohesive failure. You're not. You've forgiven the situation. That's the word. You've forgiven the situation, right? What's this? 10 of Cups. Look, no emotional alignment. And again, it's the family cups on its face. A family of fools, right? Feeble-minded simpletons, darling dears. What's going on? Devil's not welcome. It also speaks about obsessive jealousy, darling dears. Yeah. You're showing emotional maturity, or you showed emotional maturity under difficult situations that was never changing. Yeah, Tower card. Yep, spiritually guided to leave that situation. Was motivated, in fact, to follow your passions. What was this group saying, or family members saying? Oh, you're being watched big time, darling. There's the king. That's major spying, darling dears. And they consult about you. This was in the reverse. But they've got no new evidences, nothing else, darling dears. They're just guessing what you are actually manifesting for yourself at this moment in time. Because you don't deal with these family members. Key the Addams family music. Yeah. Let me sip my mocha. No, you have to look at them with spiritual eyes. Separate yourself. Go through the DNS. What's that? The dark night of the soul. You had to become the red light, green light champion and go from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White, darling dears. Spiritually guided to isolate yourself from this situation. It wasn't easy. Because at first you felt lonely until you realized lonely felt like freedom to me. Ha ha! Love it. What else? Yeah, there's no fighting around you, darling. There's no confusion. And the only person you're competing with is yourself. The person you was the night before. There's no arguments around you. Look. Balance out your masculine and feminine energy, darling dears. This is you facing your own secrets, your deepest fears, your inner child wounds. Bringing them to the light, darling dears, and healing them. You've done the damn thing. There's no fighting, not even no spiritual fighting, no physical. There's no fighting around you. None. But yet, they still want to come back. But you've washed your face like David. You've cried your last tear in that situation. This is a yes, darling dear. Spiritually guided to leave that situation. Because you've got opportunities. An offer is coming towards you, darling dears. One that's going to have you all nervous. What's this offer? Good golly and gosh, we've got the Hierophant in the reverse. Oh. It's going to bring you out of lack, darling dear. But it's not with an organization, darling dear. I'm believing that you're going to be getting an offer. Something to do with something that you may possibly be doing online. The Hierophant in the reverse is the second house, right? The second house is about your finances. Your income hasn't been doing so well of late, darling dear. But things are about to turn around. If you've been holding on to every penny and pound, no, mate, it's not going to be like that in the future. Happy days are here again. You have an offer that's going to have you nervous, darling dear. It's going to make your heart go boom, diddy, boom, diddy, boom. Yeah, which is going to create more options for you. You did the right thing. So why is this miserable family, this what? They're the what? The Addams family in the reverse. Just imagine how terrible that is. So why are you still on the tip of their tongue? This community of feeble-minded, right? Because you left the situation. And again, we get the death card. Good golly and gosh. We've got it here. We've got it here. We've got it there. 3 times, darling, dears, in the upright. this new beginning. This is 888. It speaks about the balance that's coming towards you. And this also for some, this is financial abundance. The universe just wants you to know that you are about to be successful because you chose to change. You chose to break a generational curse. Queen of Swords, you're learned, darling dears. Swords is highly spiritual. This is listening to your intuition, listening to the voice of your higher self. This is what helped you get through the what? The reminiscing, the repeating thoughts about what they done, they and them and did to you, people that were in a position. They abused their position, darling dears. Yeah, but you manifested something different, King of Wands. I didn't expect you to tap into your spirituality and heal. I didn't expect that. Pardon me, that was a spiritual belch because I speaks the truth. Roof, pinkies up. Yeah, they didn't expect that. Right? They wanted you to be mentally broken, begging back their attention. Who want that from the wicked? Nobody. What's this? You learned how to fall back, darling dear. Cut your 10, that's Jamaican terminology for crossing your feet at the ankles, and not involving yourself in things that are not on your spiritual pay grade. No, blood, you're leaving them behind. Look, but they haven't forgotten you. Listen, from the young to the old is watching you, darling dears, watching you with their toxic self, darling dear, talking all of this. What shiznai out that slash they dare call a mouth, they're ear bending, darling dears. What did I say? These enemy family members. Yeah. But none of it's touching you. You ain't heard the half of it, darling dears, because why? You are the CEO of minding your own business. Your Majesty. You realize that you are he or she for whom the sun rises. Come through, Queen Nefertari. Posh, clap, listen. Failure, that's lesson. Lesson, that's failure. Yeah. You're understanding the lessons that life teach you, darling dears. This is about being spiritually strong and using your intuition and discernment to avoid drama going forward. Fully understanding what doesn't work for you. And again, we have the 8 on the table. 8, darling dears. It speaks about your higher calling. 1, which is going to have your cup overflowing. This Ace of Cups overflows with many things, darling dears. Abundance comes in many forms. Self-love, new relationships, darling dears. Spiritually guided people that are strong. Yeah, they've been through things that may even have affected their mental health, darling dears. But this is not you rescuing anyone from mental health, darling dears. I told you, Neptune represents mental health issues. This is the new relationship. It could also be a child born from a relationship, a dark relationship that you went through that didn't work, darling dears, because you was dealing with a Queen of Wands. Somebody walked around with their Nani or Futum on their forehead, darling dears. Whomever that is, they was once your family member, now they're just your progeny's mother or father, darling dears. They're crying into their fist. Let that but Jojo. Stay with them, darling dears. They're crying. Over you. You couldn't care less, darling. Just cry all you wants to cry. You're not going back. They're watching you heal your finances without them help. This is also someone who is not supporting the progeny. 2 5 is because you let them go. This person is bitter and you know this. High Priestess energy. All these negative energies coming out around the holiday seasons, darling. They're all up in their feelings. These people that you once saw as family, they're all up in their feelings. All because you chose you. You chose to what? Do your Tinky Winky, blood. You know Tinky Winky. The biggest Teletubby that always leaves with the bag. The one in purple. Yeah. For your luxury and your wisdom and your dignity. You didn't argue and fight with these family members. Why are they still trying to be all up in the big cat's Kool-Aid? Why are they still watching you? Because you don't talk to them. So they have to have all eyes on the throne. What did I say? They're watching you build, darling dears. They're watching people come forward. Maybe you're building a business. But it also speaks about an invite which you will not be taking because the Knight of Swords is the messenger. Something to do with these family members. You're not going to take it. Why? Because you're already what? An army of one, darling dear. Do you want to be happy? You want to be around people that are passionate with life. People that pour into you, darling dears. You don't want to go back to the fishbowl after you've experienced the ocean, all solo dolo. You've got no emotions to offer this particular public. No, you haven't, right? This is the hand of God, this new experience, these new opportunities, right? Anything they got to tell you would be a lie. And look, and it'd be the wrong choice to look back. I didn't even know that I picked it up until I moved my thumb. Something to do with a fist? Yeah. They use what? Their fist on your heart chakra, darling dears. This is lies, betrayals, people that you've brought in and had progeny with, people that are your birth family, darling dears, or people you saw as family. They all betrayed you. They all betrayed you. Yeah. And you didn't fight with them. You didn't. What did you do when you found out it was the ultimate betrayal of everyone? Cap that shit. You turned into Mariah Carey. I don't know this person. You did the Wendy Williams. What? What's that? You planned all the way to the end for you. World card is Earth as well as Saturn energy. You cut them off, darling dears, in order to gain this fresh start. But it was through what? Spiritual wisdom. You're on a path, darling dears. You had to leave that family behind because you was the loyalist one there. This is about emotional maturity that you have right now. Yeah, look all the injustices they perpetrated against you. I told you already. All they did was betray you. They was always your enemy. Why? Why? We've got to ask why. Why? Might as well, we're here. Why? Why did they do that to the big cat? Why did they do what they did? Because they knew that you'd always have opportunities. Was you always the lucky one? Always managed to get that job, that loan, that partner, that child, whatever it was. Some cases they were just upset that you were still breathing. Pentacles is your health, darling dear. They didn't like the fact that you was blinking and breathing. They never liked you from when you was a child. They never liked you, right? Look, I can't make it up. Lover's energy. They never had no good intentions for you, darling dears. This is somebody that would offer you advice to make a wrong choice. Wrong choice of staying in an abusive relationship, bad friends. Yeah, they was happy you was going through that. They was happy when you went for a season. Some of you were displaced, homeless, darling dears. Lost your job, maybe even your faculties. Because I told you the 12th house is here and that speaks about mental illness. They was never on the same vibrating frequency, your family members, from when you was young. I don't see it as being a stable environment. You didn't have a lot of money in that household. What about the mother? The mother knew that you was different, darling dears. The mother saw that you could isolate things. Your mother isolated you even more, darling dears. Yes. Put you in difficult situations, darling dears. Yes. So that the house could be happy for her benefit, darling dears. Why did she do that? Because she knew you was different. The mother wasn't very nice. She knew you was different and put you in situations where you would feel isolated from your family members. What about your father? Your father, your papa. What about the father? This one wants to touch my hand. King of Swords. This person is silent in the situation. Yeah, no sowed, no real seeds. This person is somebody like, wherever I lay my head, that's my home. This man was a wanderer. Yeah, left your mother bitter, twisted, and with the progenies, darling dears. She may have had a dalliance when your father left the situation, but she was dealing with someone who had other people, darling dears. And this is the happiness. Your mother had a child for another man, darling dear. She did. Look at this. This is incoming. Yeah. Did the father know about the other child? Yes, he did. And he didn't accept the child that your mother had. But this father had left. Look, snuck clean away and was clear-headed. They knew what they was doing when they left the mother with the responsibilities of all the progenies, darling dears. And that's the truth, roof. Pinkies up. Good golly and gosh. You know this. This person was having the time of their life. All right. Let's see now. Is the mother of this family still alive? This mother, she cheated on your father, or she had after. Well, she could have been cheating while he was there, but this man has left the situation. Yeah, is the father still alive? Yes, they are, darling dears. The father energy is still alive, but they're still not happy. They never got over it, darling dears. The cheatation and the child that was born. What about the mother energy? Why did the mother energy cheat on the father energy? Oh, she wanted a more solid foundation. This is mental health as well, darling dears. Yeah, because it was a little piece of happiness in a difficult situation. But there was the ebb and flow of money. There wasn't a lot of money coming into the house, and it was a toxic environment. Lots of fighting, darling dears. Yeah, she sees your father as a master manipulator, always manipulating the situation, right? And wanted to come away from the burden. Father was controlling the situation because they was the breadwinner. Yeah, there was a lot of fighting under the quiet. Your mother was abused in the situation, darling dear. Yeah, okay. So the mother was abused by your mother was abused by your father. So why? That's the truth. 6 of Wands. So why did they turn around and earmark the big cat to be isolated? Why pick on the big cat? Knight of Wands, because you was different, darling dear. Knight of Wands is spiritually guided. They saw that you carried the light, darling dears, a light bearer. They heard the lofty ideas and the things that you used to suggest. They didn't like the messages that came through you, darling dears. You was talking psychic ability from a young age, darling dear. She tried to cut it off. This is someone that would tell people, yeah, she told people that you were lying. Something that you said were happening around the mother. She lied and said it never happened, which caused you a what? A major wounding, darling dears. The mother did this to you, but why? Because she knew that you'd always win. She knew that you carried the light, 7 of Wands. This is why you had to block them all off with a clear mind, right? And a clean heart. Yeah, you had to. You had no choice. So is this motley crew, this ragtag, right? Are they getting together for the holiday season? Are these family members that don't like you? Yes, they are. They're putting their little shekels together to make one big shekel, darling dears. If you have something online, they're going to sit down together and watch it. Why would they be watching what the big cat's doing? And yeah, because they want to look for some way to bring you down, darling dears. This is so they can talk about you, gossip, laugh, have jokes. Yeah, but still, you're getting to your bag, you're secure, your mental health is well, right? Because you found freedom, not loneliness. You already left loneliness behind. 6 of Swords. They're going to get together, darling dears, put their shekels together, right? And you will be the topic. Yeah. They don't wish you well, darling dears. They do not. And like attract like, they'll be in good company. Bottom feeding simpletons, right? That abuse the power that they had when they was around you. Well, you dodged a bullet, Tower moment on its face. You dodged a bullet, right? Leave them struggling and juggling. And I'm talking about mental health issues. They've got health issues, darling dears. We already saw death 3 times in the upright. They're going to face a death in their immediate family. Yeah. What did I say? 2 of Swords. Because of the choices that they made, the lies that they told, darling dears. Those that betrayed you are about to be betrayed. Remember, I told you that. Somebody's going to die from a surgical procedure. Yeah, look at this. As I say, the swords come out again. A surgical procedure. One of your ex-family members. Yeah. They're in a situation that not even money can buy health. Let me tell you something. Look. This is the gathering, darling dears, where they're going to what? Drag you down to the ground, but you're not going to hear because you've already washed your face like David. You're no longer in that confusing situation where there was no love for you, no true emotion. There was only what? Jealousy. And now that you've got status, what did I say? Now that you've got the biggest pentacali of them all, how they feel about you now? They don't know how to contact you, darling dears. Your shapely back is turned, but I told you one is going to be brave enough to approach you. But God is going to block them, darling dear. They want some help. Give them nothing. Pay them dust. God is going to block them. But if they manage to get through the perimeter and surprise attack or surprise turn up, remember that this person is what? A Jezebel spirit. Revelations 2:20. Put your third eye on them. And tell them no. You can't help them with nothing. Every answer is no. Right? What's this? Pay no attention to what they have to say, darling dears. It's going to be about lack. They're in what? They're low vibing, darling dears. And they want somebody to save them from the circumstances they find them in. The same she's naive you left. The same she's naive they glorified in while you was in it, and still sat with those what? Usurpers, darling dears. And still try to drag you down, even though your shapely back is well and truly turned. Oh, wow. Continue to fall back, darling dears. They need to go and lay down somewhere. Let's get some final intuitive cards, then we're out of here. To get great. Your growth, darling dears. Freedom, yeah. Everything is working out for you, right? You are remixing the past. They are now your what? Your footstool, right? You used to build them up, aka they was the come up king or queen. Yeah, you used to lay down like a rug and take all of the whatever they tried to put on you. These mud hut dwellers, these family members. Why? Their relationships, the rebounds, wherever they are, it's like Chucky, right? You're getting your sexy back. Listen, they need to shut all the way up till they get to the top of Shut Up Mountain, right? And when they get there, they must dive off, because it's where the sign says that you can't F off past this point. They must continue, right? And in some circumstances, you almost died around these people, right? Ain't nobody got time for that, darling dear. They was abusive mentally, verbally, financially, and in some cases sexually. Yeah, and there they're crying up, shut up, fool. Yeah, these low vibing, bottom feeding ex-family members that are what? You told them to leave. Some just with what? Spiritual dance of love and light. That's two of these and one of those. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks. Thank you very much for your continued bookings and your donations. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares, and your comments, because your comment is what? A survival kit for another big cat. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these town streets. Cat. And may your nights be forever laced. Keep going, bestie. Keep going. Big cat wave.
Astrology, Numerology in our hands. No weapon formed against you shall ever stand. We're winners, we never quit, we always keep on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.